Phil Connors thinks he is meant for bigger things. He is a Pittsburgh television weatherman, polished on camera and contemptuous almost everywhere else. His latest assignment sends him to Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, to cover Groundhog Day for the 4th year in a row. He travels with cameraman Larry and his new producer, Rita. Rita is warm, curious, and eager to enjoy the festival. Phil considers the town and its traditions beneath him. He plans to record the segment, leave immediately, and return to Pittsburgh before the day is over. On February 2nd, Phil wakes at 6 to the same cheerful radio show he has heard on earlier visits. He dismisses the friendliness of his bed and breakfast host, brushes off former classmate Ned Ryerson, steps into a puddle, and reaches Gobbler's Knob, already irritated. The groundhog sees its shadow, predicting 6 more weeks of winter. Phil delivers his report with obvious contempt, then pushes his crew to leave. The storm he insisted would miss the area instead closes the highway. Phone service fails, the van cannot get through, and Phil is trapped for another night in the town he wants to escape. At 6 the next morning, the same song plays again. Phil assumes the station has repeated yesterday's broadcast, but the landlady gives the same greeting. The same man appears on the stairs. Ned approaches him in the same place, and the same puddle waits for his foot. Everyone says it is February 2nd. The festival unfolds exactly as before. Phil completes the assignment again, hoping the sensation will pass, but the next morning resets in the same way. He begins predicting Rita's words and the ceremony's smallest details. The town is not simply repeating familiar routines. It returns to the same starting point every morning, while Phil alone remembers what came before. Phil tells Rita he is reliving the same day, but she thinks he is joking or unstable. A doctor finds nothing wrong with him, and a psychologist can offer only an appointment tomorrow, a useless promise when tomorrow never arrives. Phil drinks with 2 men from the bowling alley and asks what they would do if nothing they did could have lasting consequences. Their answer changes his attitude. He steals a car, drives the police onto railroad tracks, and lands in jail. Instead of waking in a cell, he opens his eyes at 6 in his room, with the day restored. Fear turns into indulgence. Phil eats whatever he wants, smokes in the diner, ignores risk, and studies February 2nd like a machine whose moving parts can be memorized. He learns the exact moment an armored truck guard looks away and steals a bag of money. He memorizes personal details from a woman named Nancy, then uses them on another loop to convince her they knew each other at school. With unlimited retries, mistakes disappear. Phil can test a lie, erase the failure, and return with a better version. The loop gives him the appearance of charm without requiring honesty. Rita becomes his main obsession. Phil is attracted to her, and endless repetition seems to give him unlimited chances to manufacture the perfect romance. He learns her ideal qualities in a man, her ambitions, her favorite drink, her interest in French poetry. On later loops, he orders her drink before she can, echoes her toast to world peace, speaks French, and presents her own values back to her, as if they were naturally his. He uses information Rita does not remember, giving him to build an afternoon that feels spontaneous to her. The plan nearly works. They drink together, build a snowman, join a snowball fight, dance, and end the evening beside the fire in Phil's room. Rita experiences the day as a surprising connection. Phil has rehearsed it countless times. It begins to crack because he knows what Rita likes without understanding why she likes it. He turns private memories into prepared lines and times every vulnerable moment toward the result he wants. When Rita tries to leave, Phil pressures her to stay and declares that he loves her. She recognizes that the entire day has been engineered and sees the same selfish man underneath it. Rita leaves, and Phil repeats the seduction on later loops. Adjusting details changes nothing. Each attempt ends in rejection or slap. He can predict the town, but he cannot force another person to love him. What once felt like freedom becomes a sentence. Phil knows television quiz answers before they are asked, and every line people will say at the festival. Nothing surprises him. Nothing lasts. His broadcasts grow openly bitter. Finally, he decides the groundhog is responsible for his endless winter. He kidnaps the animal, steals its truck, and drives toward a quarry as police, townspeople, Rita, and Larry chase him. At the edge, Phil accelerates into the pit. The truck explodes, and Phil dies. At 6, he wakes again. Phil tries other ways to die. Electrocution in the bathtub, stepping into traffic, and jumping from a tower all return him to the same alarm clock. Rita and Larry even identify his body at the morgue, but death still cannot carry him beyond February 2nd. His crimes vanish, his pleasures vanish, and even his deaths vanish. The town is restored every morning while only his memory accumulates. Eventually, Phil tells Rita that he may be immortal. She doubts him until he describes people in the diner, predicts a dropped tray, reveals details about her life, and repeats Larry's words before Larry enters. Rita agrees to spend the day observing him. Phil shows her how completely he knows the town, but he also admits the cost. By morning, she will forget everything, and he will become a stranger to her again. Rita suggests that the loop may not have to be a curse. Its meaning may depend on what he does with the time. That night, Rita stays in Phil's room to witness the reset. She falls asleep before morning. For once, Phil does not try to turn closeness into a reward. He watches her sleep and admits that her kindness has made him want to become someone worthy of her. Rita cannot hear the confession, and the coming reset means she cannot remember it. That is what makes it different from his rehearsed dates. The words cannot manipulate her into staying. They matter only because he means them. At 6, Rita is gone again, but Phil no longer wakes angry. With endless time and nothing left to conquer, he starts changing the one thing the loop has never reset: himself. He treats Rita and Larry with consideration, brings coffee, carries equipment, and gives a sincere weather report instead of sneering at the town. He takes piano lessons, repeating them across loops until he becomes skilled. He studies poetry and learns ice sculpting. Knowledge that once helped him manipulate people now becomes patience, craft, and discipline. His attention also moves outward. Phil notices an elderly homeless man struggling in the cold and brings him to a hospital, only to learn that the man has died. On another loop, he feeds him and tries desperately to keep him alive, but the man still dies that night. Phil finally confronts a limit he cannot outsmart. Knowing the future does not mean controlling every outcome. Instead of returning to despair, he focuses on the moments where his actions can still matter. He learns the emergencies hidden throughout the day. A boy falls from a tree, and Phil is there to catch him. Elderly women get a flat tire, and he arrives with a jack. A festival official chokes during dinner, and Phil saves him. He helps a nervous couple reach their wedding, he relieves a man's back pain, and finally buys insurance from Ned. None of these people will remember the earlier loops when Phil ignored them. That no longer matters to him. He helps because they need help now. On what becomes the final February 2nd, Phil delivers the festival report with genuine feeling. When Rita invites him for coffee, he declines because he has errands to run. Later, at the evening party, Phil plays piano while townspeople approach one after another to thank him for what he has done. Rita sees that the arrogant outsider has somehow become one of the most valued people in Punxsutawney. She does not know about the repeated days that made his timing possible. She only sees that he is fully present for people around him. Phil no longer stops what he is doing to make sure Rita notices. He still knows the day's schedule, but he uses that advantage to reach people at the moments they need him. Rita's admiration becomes a result of his character rather than the goal controlling his behavior. During a charity bachelor auction, she spends all the money she has to win Phil. The situation resembles his old fantasy, but the direction has reversed. He is not chasing, rehearsing, or manipulating her. Rita chooses him. After the party, Phil carves Rita's face into ice. His skill amazes her, but he does not use the moment to demand a future. He tells her that whatever happens tomorrow, he is happy now because he loves her. For the first time, Phil accepts February 2nd without trying to escape it, exploit it, or force a particular ending. Rita kisses him, and they fall asleep together. The alarm sounds. The familiar song begins, and Phil fears the loop has continued. Then Rita answers him from the pillow beside him. She remembers the night. When Phil looks outside, the Groundhog Day crowd is gone. The date has finally changed. February 3rd has arrived. Phil and Rita step into a quiet, snow-covered Punxsutawney. The town he once treated like a prison now looks like home. Phil suggests they stay there, then quickly softens the idea by saying they can rent first. After an unknowable number of attempts to make the world change for him, Phil escapes only after he learns to change himself.